So the second question is not a particular question that I've picked out, but there seems to be a bit of a theme in my direct messages and on Q&As on how did I get into this position where we've built Boxing Science and working with the champions. And you know, I'm quite honoured, I'm quite humbled by this, because it wasn't too long ago where I was asking these questions to the coaches that I looked up to, and now to feel that I can help young and aspiring coaches now, you know, it's a great feeling, and I really want to help as many of you out there to set a path to help improve and progress your career. So I've put down the 7 key steps to my career so far, and the reason why I say so far is because myself as a coach and Boxing Science as a business aren't the finished article yet. There's still a long way to go, but these are the key steps that I've taken to get into the position that I am and Boxing Science are today. So the first one is to have a vision and a long-term goal. You know, it's a bit cliche, this is probably what you hear a lot, but when I first got into strength conditioning, the reason why I wanted to be a strength conditioning coach is because I saw Alex Ariza working with Manny Pacquiao and Amir Khan in the Wildcard gym, and I had a passion for training, I had a passion for boxing, but I didn't know that I could combine the two and ever be a strength conditioning coach in boxing. But once I saw this happening, I was just like, right, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be at the top of the game in boxing and working with world champions, preparing them for title fights. So I always had that dream and that vision, and it's very important that you have that, because you've got that end goal, and it's hard. It's hard to be a strength conditioning coach. There's a lot of hours, a lot of unpaid work. There's a lot of setbacks involved as well. But if you have that long-term vision and that goal in mind, that dream, it keeps you going. So it's very important to have that long-term goal in mind. So if you haven't got that yet, you know, write it down. You know, write down where you want to be in 1 year, 2 years, maybe 5 years time, because this will definitely help you and set that path to success. Point number 2 is to gain as much experience as possible, and it's in many different scenarios. When I was an aspiring strength conditioning coach, I got my hands dirty and got stuck into anything. I worked in a range of different sports, from academy to first team football, rugby league, rugby union. I worked in golf for 5 years. I've volunteered at England netball, volleyball, you know, a range of different sports. And this is fantastic because every experience that you gain, you're broadening your knowledge, but you're also widening that network as well. So any shadowing or intern opportunities can end up turning into job opportunities as well. And this is really important because, as they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you build up that network, and when you start applying for jobs, you know more people, you get your foot in the door and get in front of people, because strength conditioning is a very competitive field. It's very hard to get a job in it. So you've got to make sure that you're broadening that network, getting as much experience on your CV, so then you can get that next step into getting part-time or full-time work in strength conditioning. The third point is gain credentials. I always get asked like what qualifications you've got, what courses do you recommend? It's very short credentials that I have, and very simple. I had an undergraduate degree, so I got a BSc in Sport and Exercise Science. I also got a Master's in Sport and Exercise Science as well. These were both at Sheffield Hallam University. And away from that, I got my level 2 or level 3, I'm not sure now, gym instructor, and I got my UKCA accreditation. So UKCA is the recognised accreditation service for strength and conditioning, and most jobs will have this as a requirement if you're wanting to be a strength and conditioning coach. So I went on 3 of the courses and then went for my accreditation. I've been an accredited coach for nearly 10 years now, and this is a main course to go on if you're wanting a full-time job in strength and conditioning. Now, if you're wanting to just improve your knowledge in strength and conditioning, there's many different courses and qualifications that you can get. A good one is level 4 strength and conditioning award. But if you're wanting to actually go into a job like in a football club, a professional setting, you need to get that UKCA accreditation. But yeah, definitely important to invest into making sure that you gain them credentials to get your foot in the door of these different jobs. Point number 4 is to volunteer your services. So I've talked about gaining experience, and this is in a very general setting to try and improve your knowledge and experience. But number 4 is specific to if you're opening a project, whether it's boxing science, football science, cricket science, anything that you're wanting to get into, you need to start volunteering your services to get your face known and to build up kind of that audience within that specific field. So what I did was volunteer my services to a student boxer that was in the gym. This was around about 2012, and from there he was training at Sheffield City ABC. I met Brendan Warburton, who was training Callum Beardo, and I started training Callum, and then after that more boxers started getting involved. So from that one athlete that I volunteered my services to, that built up the early stages of boxing science. Also to volunteer your services at a local club and just start taking the warm-up or to start taking a circuit at the end of the session, get involved with the technical session. So that's what I did at Sheffield City ABC. Start doing warm-ups, start doing circuits, and start getting that buy-in from different athletes, because what you'll find is it's very hard to get athletes into your sessions for them to come to you. You've got to try and go to them. So get involved with a technical session, build up that rapport with a technical coach, and then start building onto more services. And that is point number 5. Start small and then grow. You might rate your time at £30, £40 an hour. If you haven't got that experience and you haven't got that reputation yet, you won't get as many boxers coming onto the program. Sorry, boxers, I mean athletes. So you want to start small. So what I did was create a Saturday morning session, which was £3.50 a session, and opened it to all ages and all abilities. And from this, we gained probably about 50 or 60 individual boxers. I'd say about the range between 10 and 20 each session. But from this, my network grew because I put on an affordable session, but something that was more than me volunteering and going to these technical sessions, opening up to a wider community. But from there, I started doing testing services. I started doing training clusters, so getting some of these boxers that were coming on Saturday mornings in 2 or 3 times a week. And then from there, I started doing one-to-one work at a discounted price compared to what I wanted to be, but it was a start. So from a relatively low price session, increased volume of athletes coming in, I started to grow the consultancy services from testing through to one-to-one consultancy, and that's probably grew into the position that we're in today. Number 6 is social media. You need to get on social media. If you're watching this video, you're engaging with some form of our social media, but I was all over it from the very start. Even before we launched Boxing Science, I was putting out Boxing Science is launching, mission statements, everything like that to build up that kind of hype and excitement for new projects. And when I first started, I actually looked the other day because I was looking for a video that I posted in 2014, so I had to scroll through thousands of photos and videos that I posted over the years, and actually went to some of the early Boxing Science stuff. I was getting like 1 or 2 likes on some of the posts, and that can discourage somebody in the early days. Instagram's very different now, you get higher engagement rates, but if you're comparing yourself to somebody that's getting thousands of likes, you're never going to get over that first hurdle of building up that audience. So you need to go out on social media, you need to be patient with it, but also you've got to understand that you've got to add value. You can't just be putting photos of different things and trying to advertise your services all the time. Give out free content. People will appreciate your work more. You're giving value to them, and more people will start to follow you. And then from there, you can start kind of advertising your services and start advertising your online products as well. But social media has been a massive factor in the growth of Boxing Science, we wouldn't be in the position that we are in today if we didn't put out all the photos and videos that we've done and given value to athletes and coaches around the world. Then the 7th point is to reflect and progress. So I'm quite a reflective character. Very early on in my strength and conditioning career, I started a blog where I just wrote down my thoughts and feelings and reflections from what happened in the past 6 months. It seemed like there was something happening all the time for me to reflect on, and things like winning fights and losing fights. Always reflect and see what went well, what could have gone better, but how we're going to get better as well. And also always striving for progress. Never satisfied, and that boxing science, and sometimes that's frustrating because we're really happy in the position that we're in the gym, the performance center, online sales and everything like that. But we're always wanting to get better, we're always wanting to grow, because we want to have a massive impact on boxing and the wider community. So yeah, we're always reflecting on how far we've come, how we can get better, and we've also got future goals in mind. So hopefully I haven't waffled on too much, but they're my 7 key steps to my career so far. And like I said, we're always looking to progress, and this is just, the final point would be to you've just got to work hard and persevere.